Exploring history and diplomacy through game theory. Have you ever experienced a time when you had to make a choice together with a friend? When people cooperate, everyone benefits. But have there ever been times when fear that the other person might break a promise caused hesitation? Game theory is the branch of mathematics that studies these kinds of decisions. Game theory is widely used in economics. In a market economy, countless people make decisions while anticipating the actions of others. However, game theory is not limited to economics. It can also be applied to politics, diplomacy, sports, and even friendships. It cannot explain every phenomenon in the world, but it is a powerful tool for understanding how people make choices. The most famous example in game theory is the prisoner's dilemma. Imagine two accomplices being questioned in separate rooms. If both deny the crime, each receives a 1-year prison sentence. If only one confesses, that person goes free, while the other receives a 5-year sentence. If both confess, each receives a 3-year sentence. Which choice seems best? If both deny the crime, each serves only 1 year, making it the best outcome. The problem is that they cannot communicate with each other. When neither person knows what the other will choose, each tries to make the choice that is best for themselves. If the other person denies the crime, confessing is the better choice. Going to prison can be avoided. On the other hand, if the other person confesses, confessing is still the better choice. Otherwise, a 5-year sentence could be waiting. As a result, both prisoners confess and each receives a 3-year sentence. Individually, they made rational choices, but in the end, both are worse off. This is the prisoner's dilemma. Situations like this appear often in real life. For example, suppose there are two companies. If neither company advertises, both can save money. However, if one company starts advertising, it can attract more customers. As a result, the competing company also increases its advertising. In the end, both companies spend huge amounts on advertising. Who actually benefits? Relations between countries are similar. If a neighboring country would never invade, there would be no need to spend enormous amounts on defense. But can anyone fully know another country's intentions? Because of this uncertainty, countries strengthen their military power. When one country increases its weapons, others do the same, leading to an arms race. So, how should a country deal with its rivals? Game theory offers a strategy called tit for tat. It begins with cooperation and then mirrors the other side's actions. If the other side cooperates, cooperation continues. If the other side betrays, the response is the same. Why is this strategy effective? This is because it signals that one will not act aggressively first, but will respond to betrayal. This behavior often appears in international diplomacy as well. For example, when the United States raises tariffs on Chinese products, China may respond by imposing tariffs of a similar scale. This is not simply an emotional retaliation. It is a calculated strategy that says, if one side acts this way, the other side will respond in kind. Game theory also includes another important concept, the Nash equilibrium. A Nash equilibrium is a state in which no one wants to change their strategy first. Looking at today's international situation, many countries balance against one another while avoiding direct conflict. It is like standing on a tightly stretched rope. But can such a balance last forever? When new technologies emerge, economic conditions change, or national interests shift, that balance can break at any time. That is why the international community constantly develops new strategies. Game theory is not simply mathematics for calculating numbers. It is the study of choices and trust between people and between nations. What choice would you make if faced with the prisoner's dilemma? And in international relations, is trust more important? Or is it more important to always be prepared? Perhaps many of the decisions that shape the world are driven not by power, but by information, strategy, and trust.